yourself a performance last night, and then a very inspiring talk about culture at home and claiming your home. But first of all, I wanted to get into when someone hears your music for the first time, what do you want them to get out of it?
I want them to vibe with it without having too much to think about. I want them to feel the music as what it is and not have too many opinions about it. I mean, sure, you can have an opinion, don't get me wrong. If you don't like it, you don't like it, you know what I mean? But my goal is to let people feel the music. Like, I want people to feel it. I don't want people to... My music is there to make you let go. That's what I want people to do. I want people to let go and not think too much.
So enjoy and lose some inhibitions.
Enjoy and loosen up, dance if you want to, fucking sleep if you want to, okay? You know? But at least if people can loosen up in a way that... If people can loosen up with my music, I'm good, man. I won. You know what I mean?
And you mentioned that people in your home Denmark could learn from your other home Tanzania when it came to loosening up a lot.
Exactly. Because there's a thing, like you can tell that even better than I can. But the way that we loosen up in Tanzania is different. Like,
I mean, in general, people are a little bit more loose, just overall, you know what I mean? Like, the lifestyle is a little bit different out there, you know what I mean?
Well, this is Fundi Wake, by the way, sorry. Fundi Wake, Fundi Wake, my Tanzanian brothers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I grew up in Tanzania, so
cool.
Speaking from my experience, you know, it's just, life is a little bit more relaxed out there, you know what I mean? Of course, there's a lot of poverty, a lot of shit happening around us, but that doesn't, you know, bring the people down. People think because they're in poverty, a lot of people aren't happy, but that's actually a big misconception.
It's the other
Of
way
course,
around.
it is, you know, it's hard to live in poverty, but, you know, I mean, that wealth does not determine your happiness out there. And just having that factor, you know, out here in Europe, you have to work constantly. It's a very systematic way of living, which is good. You know, it has its pros and cons in every sense. You know what I mean?
So it's funny that the poorest person tends to be the most generous.
Yeah.
But that's why it's a loose environment out there, and everybody's more relaxed about it. You know, there's no stress.
I saved your life.
I don't know. People are not as stressed as you might think in comparison to you.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. That's something I think that's important to mention when it comes to something like that.
And you mentioned that around 10 years ago you went to Tanzania. You didn't know Swahili yet. You wanted to get a feel for the language and the culture. And how did that change your musical journey?
Man, it made my musical journey real, to be honest. Because, like, before that trip, I was just a black Dane. After that trip, I realized that I was Tanzanian as well, you know, as well as being a Dane. Don't get me wrong, I'm Danish as well, and I am Danish. I'm born and raised here, but going down there was a way to. It was a way. I had to feel where I came from. I met one dude here, Robbie. Shout out Robbie. Robbie, he's my cousin, and he like introduced me to the culture slowly. Like, I've heard Swahili when I was a kid, but I lost it. Like, we didn't go back like 10 years, you know. And then I went back, you know. So, and he like sparked that interest in Swahili. So after that, when I was in Tanzania, I made my dreadlocks to show everybody that I was a new person when I came back, and that person stuck, and that person stays, and that person is here right now sitting, you know. So going back to Tanzania and reclaiming my culture was the thing that made the step that I became more comfortable in myself. Therefore, I became more comfortable in music.
Yeah, and you can really tell when you're singing great songs like Madafu and Swahili that you really...
I feel it now.
Yeah,
you know, I feel my music to a different perspective now. I want people to feel it, right? But now I feel it. So if I feel it, people gonna feel it, you know?
Yeah. And you seem like a very curious person about culture, and do you think like having this interest in people and curiosity for different cultures helps the music as well?
Definitely, 100%. The more people look out and try to take other people in, the more they will learn about themselves as well. Because like, we're only as narrow-minded as we let ourselves be, you know? So if we can kill that and just be curious towards one another, we can move in like a whole different way. Because with culture defines everybody. It don't matter where the fuck you come from. There's something distinctive about where you come from, or how you're raised, or who your parents are, whatever, and defines you. So culture can be fucking music. It could be how your environment. but it can also be just how you're raised, how you act around your culture. You know, so if people are more curious about that, we'll redefine what culture is. You know, we'll redefine it. We won't make it us and theirs and mine. It'll be ours. You know, if people get more curious and open up more towards the idea that we are not different, but we are just we are different in a sense, but only defined by skin color, and not defined by we're all people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it all comes down to that in a sense, and in the end, you know, it all comes down to that. The more curious we are, the more we'll move, and the more we'll be able to look each other in the eye.
Yeah. And I thought it was great that in your wonderful talk you also mentioned that you wanted to stay on eye level with your audience.
I'm not a role model, man. I'm an eye level.
Yeah,
I'm a middle model. I'm not a role model. I'm not gonna be a role model. Fuck that. People can look up to me, fine, but I want to look in the eye.
And I think your audience really appreciates that. I appreciate it, and I'll just let you go on this one. What's the role of culture in like art and activism and everything about politics stands for?
What's my role on?
No, what's the role of culture in art and activism?
It defines all.
Yeah.
It defines all. Like the way the rap politics moves is crazy. It is. This is also a start, you know. Like the way they had. Like there's been so many different cultures on that stage.
Yeah, exactly.
So many different cultures throughout this week, you know, and a lot of different people, a lot of interesting and very beautiful things. You know? And we experienced Zimbabwean music at Ruskin Festival. Rough. You know what I mean? Like when, you know, when, and they open up and give people a platform to go out and actually feel that, and they're redefining it as we speak. You know, right now Yuka is sitting out there talking, and she's also redefining whatever culture is right now. You know, and she's talking in her experience like I was talking on mine. So, it all the role of culture defines all. That's how I'm in that.
Yeah, okay.
Culture defines all. As long as we make it out. As long as we make it out.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Glad I got to sit through this.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, Fundi Wake, my brother, Eric, my brother.
Tarick, thank you for your time.
Yeah, bless, bro.